number 13, Jude Lewis. Number 19, Roger Wilcox. And the libero, number 5, Sean Murphy. The Lions are coached by John Spinney and Elise Bowman. And MVB fans, it's time to get the starters for your Franklin College Grizzlies. Number 1, Corbin Deck. Number 2, Demetric George Jr. Number 5, Eric Pfeiffer. Number 6, Leo Mesberg. Number 7, Jonathan McCoy. Number 11, Matthew Becerra. And libero, number 10, Simon Mum. The head coach of the Grizzlies is Dylan Taylor, assisted by Morgan Krause. At this time, please rise for the playing of the national anthem. The HCAC and the NCAA.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to tonight's broadcast of men's volleyball featuring the Franklin Grizzlies taking on the Mount St. Joseph Lions. I am Luke Shepard alongside my color commentator, Layla Floyd. Layla, second matchup of the season for these two teams. Obviously, last time it was Mount St. Joseph winning 3-1. How are you feeling about tonight's matchup here at the Spurlock Center?
I'm feeling a little nervous, but I'm also very excited to see how this goes. I think that they're going to play a very good game tonight, and I'm excited.
Absolutely, and it's going to be, season opener or home opener for the Franklin Grizzlies this season, their second season after, their inaugural year last year where, it was a smaller roster, didn't have a lot of players, and they had to recruit a lot of different freshmen, a lot of freshmen now on this roster. Some people that are no longer on the team, Tiki Johnson, someone who was a consistent starter for the Grizzlies as they get hype. Getting ready for the matchup. It's clearly getting hype before they get underway here with the first set. But yeah, Tiki Johnson no longer on the team, an impactful blocker for this Grizzlies squad as we look to get underway. And here we go. We're going to get serve off. Franklin, Mount St. Joseph going to reply. Knocks it over. Ball bounces off the chest and it goes, hits the net, stays on Mount St. Joseph's side. Grizzlies start off with a point. Matthew Becerra serving for Franklin. Gentle tip over, but it's out of play. Grizzlies score another one.
What a great way to start off the match.
Yep, a 2-0 early lead here for Franklin. Becerra to serve again, and a service error there, and now it'll be Mount St. Joseph with the side out. Serve over. It's a reply. A kill at the end, and it's good. It's a score there for Franklin. Demetric George, the freshman, rising over the top and attacking home for the Grizzlies. McCoy now to serve. Now St. Joseph tees it up, and a good block by the Grizzlies. Sarek tries to kick it out and try to get under the ball, but Mount St. Joseph able to score. The number 19, Roger Wilcox, the sophomore, ready to serve for the Lions. Puts a little spin on it, and it goes out of play, but it's they actually call it for Mount St. Joseph. McCoy thought it was out, didn't attack it, as now Mount St. Joe with a chance to take the lead here in this early in this first set, 3-3. And that one goes out behind the Grizzlies, and they get the side out now, 4-3. And it'll be Leo Messberg. And a strong kill there from Carson Reed, the freshman from Mount St. Joe, tying it up at 4. And now we're getting some quick substitutions for the Grizzlies as Messberg comes out. From Mount St. Joe to be freshman Will Croft to try and serve it, but it's another service error, and it goes back to Franklin as they take a 5-4 lead. George, it hits the top of the net, but gets over. Good block there from the Grizzlies at the net. Trying to go again in a second block, but it goes out. So that'll be a point for Mount St. Joe.
Looks like they're playing an even game.
Yeah, it's been tight so far. Both kind of going back and forth after what was an early run for the Grizzlies. Able to reply off the serve. McCoy tries to get the kill leader for the Grizzlies this year. He's got 100 going into this match. George able to get under it. Another kill, blocked though, and it goes over Mount St. Joe with a strong defensive stand to take the lead 6-5. And Demetric George, the only person with 2 kills for the Grizzlies. And Carson Reed coming to serve, but it goes out of play. A point for the Grizzlies. They now take, or tie it up at 6 points each. And the libero in the middle of the court, Simon Mung, communicating with his Grizzlies team. And Deck with the serve as he gets to the outside, and Mung tried to get under it, but it goes way out back. A strong kill from Jude Lewis, the junior. Mount St. Joe takes the lead back 7-6.
Ah, it looks like they're having some pretty good communication out there.
Yeah, both teams communicating offensively and defensively. Is interesting serve over the top there from Shellman. And Mount St. Joe trying to reply, a miscommunication on the ball. And the Grizzlies able to tie it back up at 7. Simon Mung will come out for a minute. And Now serve here. Oh, and we're going to get what looks to be a potential service error on Brody Buttag. And another one there, just hit the middle of the net. He's going to come out for a minute as Mount St. Joe takes an 8-7 lead. And during some substitutions, the team's communicating. Simon Mung, the libero, back in for the Grizzlies. A serve here from Bass. Tipped over from Becerra. Tried to get under the block. A nice dig from Demetric George, and Mount St. Joe trying to reply. They get it over. McCoy. Good block from Mount St. Joe. Franklin able to reply. McCoy on the outside. Tried to get it over, and Mount St. Joe with some incredible defense at the net. Able to take it down. 9-7 lead now for the Lions. Braden Bass serves underway. Becerra, and a nice kill there from Messberg. But Mount St. Joe is able to reply. George got up there, but a good block. And oh, a dump off, and what a return, but just out of play. Becerra able to get under the ball, but Mount St. Joe does get the point off it. Becerra up. McCoy gets it down, and Mount St. Joe not able to reply. A point for the Grizzlies, keeping the set close, 10-8.
Yes, this has been an interesting game so far. We've seen a lot out of Demetric, George, and McCoy as well. Everyone's playing really good.
And a service error. Commentator's curse never seems to fail.
I know.
And Mount St. Joe gets the side out off the service error. 11-8 now as they serve it underway. That was Jude Lewis, who had a nice kill earlier. And what a block at the net. Will Croft, the freshman, rejecting Demetric George on what looked to be a strong kill attempt.
Yeah, he sent it right back over the net.
Becerra goes up to McCoy, and just too much juice on it as it goes back out of play. Mount St. Joe on a little bit of a run right now up 13-8 in the middle of this first set. They get the serve underway. McCoy on the kill and finds a dead spot in the Mount St. Joe defense, and Franklin now able to get the serve. 13-9.
Maybe they can bring back up their score and tie it back up or get ahead.
Yep, looking to make a run themselves. And a strong serve from McCoy. Goes up now for a kill, and it's just too much on it, just outside the yellow lines. And it was a strong attempt from Corbin Deck, the freshman, 6'5" freshman, but just not quite able to finish. And now we'll get the serve underway from the sophomore Roger Wilcox. Becerra up. Deck was able to get it over. And out of play. Too much on it on the return from Mount St. Joe. Now a 14-10 lead for the Lions, getting a little shorter. Simon Mung comes out really quick for Franklin, going kind of a tall lineup, 3 people at the net. And a service error again. Franklin's had multiple of those. Starting to see a pattern as Mount St. Joe now has a 5-point lead. And just able to get it over, and a nice dump off there. Eric Pfeiffer
looked like another miscommunication as they both went down to the floor.
Yeah, it seemed the Mount St. Joseph defenders not quite ready for it. Franklin was able to reply. And they go up for the kill and just gets over the net. And yeah, a little bit of miscommunication from Franklin there, was able to get it over. And what a strong kill. Jimmy Steinried. Steinriedy, excuse me, and was able to get the strong kill. Franklin on the attempt to block, not able to defend the play. Now a 16-11 lead for the Lions. Reed serving. And Deck able to get it over, and out of system defensively from Mount St. Joe. Franklin gets the side out. Franklin bench trying to gain some momentum here. Becerra up for George. He just lays it on over soft, but Mount St. Joe ready for it. And they get the block, and now on the third. Nice dig from Mung, and McCoy went for the kill and just had too much on it. It's happened a few times now. What a rally from Mount St. Joe, and we're gonna get a stoppage of play here. 17-12, we'll have a minute break, and then we'll be back with you. The Lions look to close out the first set with a lead. And we're back out of the break. Mount St. Joe, Jimmy Steinriedy serving away. McCoy able to get the strong kill, and that goes to the scores table. Mount St. Joe not able to reply.
Yeah, possibly he realized that his kills were too strong, so he took that back a little bit.
Yep, he was able to put a little bit of a softer touch on it, was able to get in a better positioning for the ball. It's a good point, as now it'll be Butthag ready to go here and serve for the Grizzlies. He had the service error earlier, gets it over this time. And a strong kill. Coach Dylan Taylor got his hands on it, but it went out of play anyway.
Yeah, he's trying to go in, I guess.
Put him in. Put the head coach in, might as well. Butthag will go this time. Now just a 3-point lead for Mount St. Joe. And a strong kill, but what a reply from McCoy on the dig. It goes over, and it will go to Mount St. Joe. It was just outside the yellow lines. McCoy so going for his kill, but not able to get to it as it was over the net.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll get back up there in this few serves.
And they get another one underway. Becerra leads it up, and a strong kill there from Messberg, and a block attempt led to the ball going out of play. Franklin gets another point on the board. 18-15. We're nearing the end of this first set. as Mount St. Joe tries to hold on, and a soft touch hits the head of him. McCoy celebrating, and Franklin dropping the lead down to 2 now.
McCoy is also celebrating, but their whole bench is also standing and also celebrating.
Yeah, trying to get some hype for their Grizzlies squad, who searched to get what would be their 4th win of the season, and that ball not able to get enough air under it, and now another stoppage of play.
Yeah, all that hype is getting to them. It's only 7-18 now, 17-18.
Yes, yeah, a lot of momentum shifting now for the Grizzlies, and so we got a minute of a stoppage here. We'll come back with you after this short break. 18-17, Mount St. Joe only up 1 now. And we're back. Out of the break is Becerra. Serves it underway, and kind of out of system play there from Mount St. Joe, but McCoy went for the soft kill, but Franklin able to rally. They tee it up, a strong assist there for a great kill from Will Croft, the freshman. Now a side out here for the Lions. Deck able to get under it. McCoy goes soft. And a strong kill again from Croft, and it went off the hands of Mung. 2 straight strong kills from Will Croft. And Mount St. Joe just 5 points away from taking this first set.
Yeah, possibly a little too strong for Mung.
Yeah, just not quite able to get under it. And now, a slip from Messberg, but George gets a strong kill. What a defensive reply from the Lions. Mung tees it off. McCoy. They got under it. Another great dig from Mung to George.
He's redeeming himself.
Oh, and a strong play there from the Mount St. Joe Carson Reed, and he went down hard. He was able to come back up, but it went out of play, so it'll be Franklin's point and the side out. Coach Dylan Taylor gonna mop up the floor here. Oh no, maybe they're.
He's all around.
Yep, you gotta have Becerra on duty. He's served, he's been in the middle, yeah, like you said, all around.
And he's a cleaning crew.
Yep. Triple threat, as some would say. And now, okay, so it'll be McCoy here to serve and lead off for Franklin.
Are his serves as strong as his kills? Yes.
Yes, they are. Ball nearly went up to the ceiling, but a nice dump off there from Deck, but the referee. Not sure exactly what the call was.
The Deck and ref are not in coordinates. Yeah.
No, definitely seem in some sort of disagreement, and so does Dylan Taylor for Franklin. He definitely does not agree with that call, and John McCoy just asking for an explanation from the referee.
Yeah, so far they've been doing really good, really competing against each other, and showing that they're not here to play around.
Yeah, but I mean, last season Franklin played Mount St. Joe, and Mount St. Joe was able to come out on top 3-0 both times, not allowing a single set, able to get to Franklin. This past time when they played, it was 3-1. And a strong kill, Demetric George. 21-19 now. Franklin puts it within 2. Coach Dylan Taylor hyped up, creating some substitutions. Mung will come out quickly. But like I said, Franklin was able to get a set last time against Mount St. Joe. They've built momentum. They're 0-3 against them now all time in this young program. And you want to compete. You want to show that you can win over, what's not really a conference opponent, but a usual opponent for Grizzlies. But that point will go to Franklin as Mount St. Joe, what seemed to be a reception error, now just a 1-point match.
I think Becerra needs to get back out there and mop the floor a little more.
And a strong block there, and it went to the side of the net. And Reed tried to get under it and reset the play for the Lions, but now it's tied up, 21 apiece. Franklin looking to serve and take their first lead in what would be a while.
Yeah, anyone could really win this set.
And out of play on the service error. Mount St. Joe, just not simple mistakes for Franklin. You can't have that at this point in the set. Coach Taylor commanding his team, also the coach of the women's volleyball team here at Franklin. And McCoy goes soft and catches Mount St. Joe off guard, but somehow they were able to get under it. What a play from Murray, and a strong kill, Demetric George. And Franklin ties it back up at 22 apiece on the reply. What a rally from the Grizzlies.
They're really showing out this game.
Yeah, they've been able to come back and gain some momentum. And a service error again for Franklin. Too many of those.
Yeah, and that wouldn't be that wouldn't be George's first one either.
Yeah, no, he has had a couple, you are right. And we've seen them come from different people in the box score tonight. And that ball goes up to the rafters. Mung gets under it. Becerra, and the ball just tipped the ground, and now set point. And we're going to get a timeout here from Franklin before the end of the set as they look to try and steal this one from the Lions. We're going to get a minute to break and play, and we'll be right back. Mount St. Joe here to serve. It's going to be Carson Reed on set point, and it just goes out. He had too much on it. Not something you can have here if you're the Lions. It's now 7 errors for them on the day, and Franklin with 8. It's been kind of a messy start for both sides. Deck gets underway, and a service error to end the set. That has to be absolutely brutal if you are Franklin.
Yeah, it seems like Franklin has had a lot of service errors this set, but they can come back next time, hopefully.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely some, they're going to have to make some strong adjustments. It was a close set. Not too much you're going to have to change, but yeah, you have to really make sure that you're cleaning it up and being smart with just making sure, first off, get the ball over the net. Don't focus on, don't focus right now on placing the ball. Focus more on getting the ball over the net because that is shown to be an issue. And then once they can prove that they do that consistently tonight, then you can get to the other stuff. But Franklin, they kept it close, and it's going to be a close second set, I'm sure. So it was 25-23. Mount St. Joe able to come out on top, now leading 1-0 going in to set 2. We have about 2 minutes, a little over 2 minutes until the next set starts, so we will be back with you after that. And welcome back, everybody, to the second set, tonight's matchup. If you're just joining us, Franklin had it close with Mount St. Joe going into the last set. They were able to make a run, but Mount St. Joe was just able to do a little more and were able to come away with the first set. So now a 1-0 start as Franklin tries to reply and extend this match. And, oh, what a dig from Becerra, but he tried to get it out to George, and he did, but George just wasn't able to get it over the net, and so a 1-0 start here for Mount St. Joe as they look to serve. And nice dig there from Mung, and he goes up with it, and out of play. So Mount St. Joe will get the point. A nice over-the-top attack, but we're just a little too much on it. So now Mount St. Joe, it's Braden Bass getting underway. Deck gets under it. McCoy, what a kill!
That was a really good one. Not too much power, but just enough.
Yep, strong right in the middle of the court and was able to attack the dead spot in the Lions defense. Franklin now makes it 2-1, gets the side out. Becerra looking to tie it up here on the serve. Goes up with it. Nice fake out. And what a dig from Mung. Gets to the outside. Another one for Mung, and Becerra leads it off. What a kill! Demetric George back-to-back strong spikes for the Grizzlies, tied up at 2.
Now we saw last set that their kills were too strong. This time it looks like they're just enough.
Yep, more balance. They had a lot of different errors where it was either going out of play or they had service errors with too little on it. And that one goes out. Franklin gets the point there after too much going on it from the kill from Mount St. Joe. Now a 3-2 Grizzlies lead. First lead of the set. And soft over the top as Sarah leads it off for McCoy. They're able to block it, but and that one goes out of play. Not able to keep it in, and Franklin take another point on the board, 4-2.
They're taking the lead, but they also took the lead the last set, and they were pretty close the whole time.
And now St. Joe trying to get that answer back. Nice dig there from Deck. And a soft one from Messberg over the top. Franklin, 5-0 run. They are on fire, and Coach Spinney needs a timeout for his Mount St. Joe Lions team. 5-2 lead for the Grizzlies. They're feeling good in the huddle. 1 minute to go until we resume the set, so we'll be back with you after this short break. And welcome back. It'll be Becerra to lead off here. Franklin came up short 25-23 in their last set. 5-2 lead now as they try to answer back against Mount St. Joe. Soft one over the top, and they were able to get a hand on the block, but it seemed to be maybe a little miscommunication. George didn't get to it.
Now we noticed on the last time they matched up, the first set was also the exact same score, 23-25.
Yeah, a trend that is following. Franklin was able to have success in the third set last time out against Mount St. Joe, but the second set was close as well, and Franklin with a nice dig and a dead spot and able to take or extend the lead.
You see the Franklin bench chanting.
Chanting to the Lions, yeah, you can't do that. And McCoy with a strong serve, but Mount St. Joe able to reply, and that one goes out, but it grazed off the fingertips of Deck. And so Mount St. Joe does get the point, now just 6-4 lead for the Grizzlies.
Very close, anything could happen. Still got plenty of time.
Yep, a lot of different momentum swings that we're gonna see, and that one kind of bounced off the chest of Mung. Now 6-5 lead, getting cut down. Mount St. Joe with a chance to tie it up on the serve. Deck able to get under it, and that one went over the net, and I think Becerra touched the ball over the other end of the net, and Coach Dylan Taylor not happy with the referees, does not agree.
No, not at all.
He had a happy expression. And yeah, unfortunately you couldn't see my air quotes if you were watching from home, but a nice kill there from Franklin. Mount St. Joe not able to get under it. 7-6 lead. They gain it back. Now on the side out. And a soft touch over the top. Messberg gets under it. George, soft kill. It's up for its third hit, and that didn't even get over the net. Some frustration showing from Mount St. Joe, and now Franklin an 8-6 lead early in the second set still, but continuing to stay on top. And that one deflects off the hands of the Grizzlies, and Mount St. Joe able to get the point with a chance to tie it.
Yeah, Croft took that anger and sent it right back.
Yeah, he was showing some frustration in previous play, and
Becerra's back out with the mop.
yeah, second time we've seen Becerra with the mop. I don't remember the last time Franklin had a cleaning crew. I've seen most of the time it's always been players who've ended up doing it, or coaches. Coach Hamilton for basketball did it.
Wow.
And coming up into the stands here was Eric Pfeiffer, who jumped. He launched off of the seat, and Demetric George bowing down to him.
Thankfully, he didn't hit anybody, but
Yeah, I'm genuinely shocked at how he was able to. He stood on top of the last chair ending on, and oh my goodness, Mung able to get under it after it hits the ceiling. So much happening here at the Spurlock Center. And a strong block from George, but it goes over, and it will be a Mount St. Joe point. But yeah, it was Pfeiffer jumping off of the chair and with 1 foot, and he got over the chair, basically hurdling it, and was able to reply on the ball, but it was deemed out. And a soft touch there from Pfeiffer, and both teams kind of trying to be creative with it. And a strong kill from George, slamming it home, and now a 9-9 tied up set. Grizzlies get a chance to take it.
now we've seen a lot of good kills from George this set.
Yeah, and a lot this match. He has now had 7 kills, or 8 kills now after that one this entire match. It has been a strong night from Demetric George. And after a double hit from one of Mount St. Joe's guys, it seemed to be Jimmy Steinreedy. And Franklin able to take a 10-9 lead. And that ball hits the end of the net. Mount St. Joe able to get it over. McCoy was on the dig, and a strong kill. Corbin Deck. 2-point lead now for Franklin, 11-9.
Mount St. Joe's frustration is visible, but that won't stop them.
Yep, definitely going to find a run of their own, and they've kept it close this set. Franklin able to retain the lead. And they lead that one off, and what a defensive play from Eric Pfeiffer after hurdling a chair. Now blocks it on the other end and takes a 3-point lead now for Franklin, 12-9.
Let's see if they can keep this run going.
Yep, it's been a strong last few sets, and Pfeiffer able to deflect it over with Becerra twice in a row. And that one just skimmed the ground.
Mung's out all the way down on
Yeah.
the ground for that one.
He got as low as he possibly could. And that's what he's able to kind of do in that libero position, also standing at 5'5", a lot shorter than a lot of other people on the floor. It lets him get down low and able to dig into those digs.
Yeah.
And a strong kill from Corbin Deck. The Franklin bench is absolutely fired up, and now a 3-point lead for Franklin, 13-10. With the serve, Deck will take it. And nice dig right there from George, able to get under it. McCoy, what a kill in the corner! John McCoy, the kills leader, gives the 4-point lead now for the Grizzlies.
McCoy and George are celebrating together, seeing as how they've had many of the kills this game.
Yeah, now 14 kills out of Franklin's 21 on the match. And that one goes out of play. Another point for the Grizzlies. Some mental errors now coming from Mount St. Joe. Franklin with a lot of momentum, 15-10. Deck, too much on the serve. And now 15-11, a quick substitution, or a couple for Mount St. Joe. And just a stat I want to point out, Franklin Becerra, 15 assists on the night already from him. Tiki Johnson, when he was on the team, had 30 last time out against Mount St. Joe. Becerra on pace for a lot more.
He can do more than just clean the floors.
And now a kill on the other side. Nice defensive play from Becerra, showing out on the defensive end. And what a dig from Mung. McCoy on the kill, he finishes. Mount St. Joe not able to reply. This has been an excellent set for Franklin, getting set up in position, and McCoy being set up on that near side corner here to where we are in the Spurlock Center. A 5-point lead for Franklin.
McCoy has done a lot this game, along with his other team members, but
no, he has been. I mean, he's been able to get set up into his positions where he needs to be. And when you have Becerra leading you off a lot of the time, and Mung, who's been able to get down 7 digs tonight, it has just been a strong showing defensively from him and being able to help out the Grizzlies. And another assist from Becerra, that time to Messberg, who's able to finish on the kill. And it's a 17-12 Grizzlies lead as we near closer to the end of the second set. Franklin getting closer here.
seems as though the Grizzlies have really picked it up this round, this set.
And right you are, they have been able to. They've been able to gain some momentum and hold on to their lead that they've had since it was a 2-0 deficit early in the set, and then they went on a 5-0 run. It's been a strong rally from Franklin, and George got up, but too much on it. Need to shave off some power there now. Just a 3-point set. And Mung got under it. Becerra, oh, he was able to reply, but on the fourth hit, it got to Messberg.
Yeah, Becerra was just a little short of the net, but that's all right.
Yeah, just so close, and Messberg was able to get a hand under it, but it was the fourth player. As now Becerra got under it, but that one hit the net, and that's another point for Mount St. Joe. An error from Becerra, got too close to the net, and now 17-16, a 4-0 run from Mount St. Joe, and Coach Dylan Taylor is going to take a timeout for his team. 1 minute to play until we're back to resuming the set. 17-16, we've got a close one. Franklin trying to tie it up at 1 set apiece. We'll be back with you after the break. coming out of the break, and a service error to start it off from Mount St. Joe. Jude Lewis not able to get it over.
Not the best way to start after a timeout, but
And we've seen a much cleaner set for both of these teams. Both teams started off with a combined 14 errors between the two of them. This set, it's only been a total of 7. And Hmong tried to get under that, but a nice finish from Mount St. Joe, and now back to a 1-point deficit here, 18-17.
Hmong rolled to get that one, but he didn't quite get to the point he needed to be at.
Yeah, you can see he's got he's completely why he's got all those knee braces, making sure he can dig for all those low balls. And after Becerra tried to get under it, was just too far under the net. Now tied up at 18. Mount St. Joe's got a chance to take a lead here in what's been a Franklin dominant set. And a soft touch from Messberg. Reed able to get it over. Nice dig from Hmong. McCoy, soft.
It's clear that Mount St. Joe has changed it up a little bit to get better at what they're doing.
And yeah, they have been able to gain momentum, and now Coach Dylan Taylor is on fire.
Hmong is also on fire.
Yeah,
they're not in agreement.
Something went wrong. The ref said that one of Franklin's players had their hands reaching over the net, and it ended up being an illegal play. But I think that they're going to review it here. Yes, they are. Okay, so, and just for your audience awareness, if you watch basketball with us, you would know that the camera that the referees can see down there when replaying is the same camera that we use here on Grizz TV. So basically, and the camera sits directly by it where we're standing. So essentially from what we are able to see, that is basically what you are able to see on your screen. It's what the referees are able to see.
Yeah, referees are on the floor, and we're all the way up here. Definitely a different viewpoint.
Yeah, but, and you know, they're gonna check and see. I mean, maybe they'll be able to catch the angle if a player touched it over the net. Unfortunately, the camera being up here and, you know, not having any extras, it does kind of make it hard for some calls to be overturned. We've seen that be an example just in basketball a lot when review gets used consistently. The referee's taking a close look, making sure that there was no foul from the Grizzlies. I think they're saying
Grizzly point?
I think potentially, or it just might be a reserve.
Looks like everyone on the court is ready besides
The referees. They're
yeah.
going to check this again one more time. I'm not sure what they're looking at. My gosh, so now teams are going to be back kind of huddled up here as the referees take another look at this. I didn't even know what they originally called in the first place. Some fans here, which I can't tell if they're here with Mount St. Joe or not, were cheering. The student section on the Franklin side pretty filled up for this home opener for the men's volleyball squad tonight of only their second season.
Both teams look pretty happy. Neither team looks downplayed. They don't look like they're going to struggle at all.
Yeah, after this kind of deadpan time, teams are sometimes able to get frustrated, but Mount St. Joe able to get the point there, and so I do think that they determined, they might have called a double foul and then it went to review, but either way, they eventually determined that the point goes to Mount St. Joe, and they will be able to serve now, so they have their first lead since being up 2-1 in this second set. 19-18 now instead, and as we near closer to the end of the second set. And Coach Dylan Taylor is not happy.
No, infuriated, if you will.
Yeah.
They called an attack error by George.
Interesting.
And it
call
looks
there
like we're ready.
nonetheless. Yep, finally we're able to get back underway. It's going to be Mount St. Joe to serve.
Oh.
Mung got under that one, and oh, a strong kill, slamming one of the Mount St. Joe players in the face, and he's kind of making fun of himself with the crowd, who got very excited for that play, as well as Coach Taylor did. And now Franklin tying it up at 19, Messberg.
Seems like they're absolutely pumped.
And a strong kill to reply. They wanted to take back that momentum, and they sure did. The Lions take the lead back 20-19.
Seems like this is going to be a back and forth, kind of like how the last set was. And see how this plays out.
Yep, towards the end, it got very, very close. And now Franklin ties it up on the service error.
Now once again, just that back and forth.
Yeah. Multiple lead changes coming in what are going to be the last probably 7 or 8 points of this set.
Franklin bench very high. Mount St. Joe very high, very upbeat.
Trying to gain momentum through that level of positivity, and a strong kill from Deck got around the defenders of Mount St. Joe, and Franklin takes the lead now 21-20.
Seems like these kills are what's getting the Grizzlies through the whole entire set.
Yeah, they're setting up McCoy and George a lot on the outside, but Deck that time was able to be the one who's got the kill. And now a simple mental error there from Eric Pfeiffer. Coach Taylor not happy, and now tied up at 21. Those are the things that you cannot afford late in these sets.
Coach Taylor has actually sat down. He took a seat.
Yeah, has not seen many of that. But after another service error from Mount St. Joe, Franklin takes the lead back 22-21 as they get the side out. It'll be Deck here to serve.
Served it cleanly right there.
He did. He was able to get in the middle, and after a strong kill, there was just too much on it, and it went to the outside. And Franklin now with a 2-point lead. We're going to get a stoppage of play. They are just 2 points away from tying these sets up one apiece. 23-21. We'll be back with you after the break. And welcome back. After the break, 23-21, Franklin just 2 points away, and a service error there going out of play. And that point goes to Mount St. Joe. Another simple mistake as now they will get the serve.
They're neck and neck at this point. They were neck and neck at this point last set too.
Yeah, it's been close sets from both sides. They've been aggressively wanting it, and that one goes out of play. A strong kill from McCoy. They weren't able to get under it. Now 24-22, set point
In the second set, we have 13 now kills. And McCoy has 7 kills.
Yeah, it seems 7. Our stats are a little behind up here, and on the serve, too much on it again from, I think it was Deck, and now 24-23 Franklin. They're gonna have to get this one, or else we're gonna start getting some back and forth extra time here basically to determine who will win the set. Is now Mount St. Joe trying to tie it up at 24. Franklin looking to win the set. McCoy soft over the top.
Yeah, this is right where we were last time. The Grizzlies are ahead though this time.
Yeah, and they call it for Franklin. Coach Taylor is hype as could be. They're saying it went off of a Mount St. Joe Lion. Off the fingertips, the players are begging that they didn't touch it, and I think we're gonna get replay again here. And so, like we said earlier, the camera that the referees see is essentially what we see and also what you see on your screen. So not much that the referees are, they're gonna try and zoom in and be able to see if it grazed off the hand of a player or head of a player maybe for Mount St. Joe. And it's obviously a big moment. I mean, this call is going to determine the winner of this set potentially.
Indeed it would. And it would be the exact same score, just flipped around. Grizzlies last time had 23 and the Lions had 25.
Yep, it was a really, really close end to the last set where Franklin was able to kind of come back late. And this time, Mount St. Joe doing the same thing. Mount St. Joe was down, I believe, 17. It was a 17-12, and they were able to come back and take a lead. But after Franklin being able to maintain their lead, they're now in a really close position as the referees continue to look at replay.
Now it looks like the referee is looking at the replay, but she just now zoomed it in to see if there is a touch from the Mount St. Joseph player.
Yeah, they're trying their very best to make the right decision, and
this decision could easily end this set.
It could end the set. It could also set Mount St. Joe up for a position where they could take a 2-0 set lead and steal this one from Franklin. I mean, Franklin needs this set. And they call it for the Grizzlies.
Oh!
They said it went off the hand of a Lion. Either that or it's stuck with the original call, but Franklin won the set. Going over to the student section and trying to get them a little hype, but Franklin ties the sets up 1 apiece. As now we'll get a third one underway. 3 minutes of a break until we will be back. 25-23, both sets were the same score. Mount St. Joe taking the first, Franklin taking the second. We'll be back with you after our short few-minute break. And welcome back. After it was a few-minute break and both teams ready up, as we're getting both teams kind of talking here at the center logo before this set gets underway. Set number 3, Franklin lost the first one 25-23, and then won the second one 25-23.
Yeah, looks like it's going to be a close one probably again.
Yeah, we're going to see some more competitiveness. And that ball hits the ceiling, hits the floor a little bit out of timing for Mount St. Joe, and Franklin gets the first point of the third set.
Yeah, just could not get to it, couldn't see where it was falling from, I guess.
And we've seen that a few times tonight where the ball has hit the ceiling and players have had to adjust. And what a dig from Mung, and soft over the top, and another fantastic dig. Mung able to get under it. Franklin adjusts to the ceiling.
Yeah, Monk has that roll down. Every time he gets a dig, I feel like he spins around on the ground.
Yeah.
Signature move from him.
Yeah, he does a great job getting under there, and Franklin was able to come away with the point because of it. What a rally from Mung and the Grizzlies. And now Becerra up in the soft kill, and Mung dove in like a swimmer there trying to get to the ball, but just a little short. And now 2-1 for Franklin Mount St. Joe with the side out.
A little lack of communication right there, but nothing they can't come back from.
And Mung does a great job setting up George there. And a nice over-the-top finish from Messberg, and Franklin now a 3-1 lead as they will get the side out. McCoy on the serve, and too much on it, not enough air, as we'll get a service error.
Yeah, that's happened a couple times, not for just McCoy, but for the whole team, actually. And it's caused them a couple points.
Yeah, we've seen it in all of the different sets tonight. A lot from McCoy, and we've seen it from Deck a little bit as well, unfortunately. As now, what a dig from Mount St. Joe, able to reply, and that ball was out of play.
Trying to get the student section to get in on this game.
Yeah, it's going to be a competitive one, as we've seen all night, and I'm sure they will, especially as we get closer to the end here and get more into crunch time. And another service error, this time from Mount St. Joe. Franklin with a 4-3 lead.
Once again, just neck and neck. They're just back and forth.
Trading leads and trying to get one up over the other, as what a kill in the middle of the floor for Carson Reed.
That'd be his second one this set.
Yeah, a strong start from Reed early.
Tying him back up 4-4.
And now this time a serve from, that was Croft, and Franklin gets it over the top. Corbin Deck. And now Franklin a 5-4 lead. As they get the side out, it'll be George to serve this one away. They set up Reed. What a block from Eric Pfeiffer. Franklin on the strong defensive play, 6-4 lead. Trying to extend it and gain continued momentum. George has kind of been taking it soft over the top on back-to-back serves, and another one gets blocked, and that one didn't have enough air on it either from Reed. Franklin with a 3-point lead.
George going back in for another serve. Hopefully this run will last him.
Ooh, and it nearly did. I mean, we've seen back-to-back serves for George went well, and that time got close, but just out of play on the block from Franklin. So Mount St. Joe was able to steal a point away and the serve back. And a strong block there on the other end. Deck kind of wanted to go soft with it, but too good of defense from Mount St. Joe.
Feels like the Grizzlies need to be a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, maybe attack some more, and we saw it there, but just too much on it from George. You called for it, but they weren't able to execute there. Now tied up at 7 after a 3-0 run from the Lions. Becerra tees it off to McCoy, who just tried to get it over. And the kill attempt kind of rolled off the hand wrong of Steinreedy, and Franklin able to get, what looked to be maybe a block too. 8-7 now, Grizzlies lead. The bench starting to clap. And ball just got over the net, and Becerra and Pfeiffer weren't able to quite get there on the block.
Looks like maybe it hit Steinreedy a little bit.
Soft spot maybe is it's going to be tied up 8 apiece. Yeah, Steinreedy coming out of the game now. And what a block there from the shorter Becerra, getting up over the net and deflecting it. He has had a fantastic night so far.
We see the Grizzlies getting excited and celebrating all together. They're trying to get the bench is trying to get the student section involved.
Yep, and we've seen a lot of people show up here for Franklin's home opener in their second season. And now setting it up on the corner, and they try to get the block. Pfeiffer and McCoy weren't able to deflect it well enough. Now tied up at 9 apiece. Pfeiffer comes out, and Budag comes out as well. A serve here from Bass. And, oh, what a reply on the block. And they called it over the net. It was from the near side to where we're sitting referee, who's not up on the stool, who called that one.
Yeah, different referees see different areas depending on where they're sitting at, and we see different things from sitting up here.
Yeah. And a strong serve there from Mount St. Joe set them up for good position. Now an 11-9 Lions lead. Bass, this time a service error, too little. 11-10, Mount St. Joe allowing Franklin to gain some momentum back.
A lot of serves into the net tonight, I've realized, from both teams, not just one or the other.
Yeah, definitely a lot of service errors. Second set was a little cleaned up, but, oh, they're going to give the point to Franklin. There's going to be a foul on Mount St. Joe, not sure what. Maybe someone stepped over the center line potentially, as now Franklin ties it up at 11 apiece, nearing the halfway point of this set. And they tee it off, kind of a long kill. Nice dig from Deck, and George retaliates off the block. McCoy lays it up soft and gets it. McCoy thought it hit the ground. It's somehow still in play. What a defensive rally from Mount St. Joe. And McCoy begging that it hit the ground. But the Lions will get the point.
Yeah, McCoy definitely does not agree with the ref in this situation.
And I think we're going to get a potential replay here. The Mount St. Joe player is kind of not happy with the fact that it's going to get replayed, but the referee's going to check and see again if they can make a change to the call.
They're neck and neck again. Just as we've seen the past 2 sets, they're just going back and forth from each other.
This has been an incredibly close match the entirety of the time. Every single set has just been truly competitive. And we're going to get a call here. And they're actually going to call it for Franklin. They are saying that the ball hit the ground. It did kind of seem like that from up here with how the ball bounced. And they were nearly able to get their hand under it, but not quite. As now Franklin has a 12-11 lead and the serve. That's a big change of calls there.
I'm sure McCoy is not disappointed by that.
Yeah, he wanted it and got it, and a strong kill way too far to the outside. And Franklin now with a 2-point lead, 13-11. That ball nearly took out Coach Taylor. And just too much on the serve. A little less on it there.
There's been a lot of too much this whole match. A lot of overkills, a lot of under as well.
Yeah, we've seen examples of both on both sides, and it's been a little bit messy, but nothing too unusual. As we've seen now a nice setup on the assist, but what a dig from Mung, and the skill from McCoy. Feeling good after that one, and now a 2-point lead for Franklin.
So far this set we have 7 kills.
Yeah, Franklin has been attacking the outsides, but that time McCoy getting it done in the middle. And too much that time on the kill attempt from Mount St. Joe, and Franklin up 15-12. They've gained some momentum.
Mount St. Joe also has 7 kills this match. McCoy served it into the middle of the net again.
Another service error for Franklin. But we've seen him honestly more from Mount St. Joe tonight. Mount St. Joe has 18 errors on the night. Franklin, they believe that was their 13th. Becerra, what a play! George kills it over. Ball hits the ceiling. This would be an incredible rally from Franklin. Another tough win from Becerra. George, what a dig from Mount St. Joe, and a miscommunication. Not able to get to the ball. What a rally from the Grizzlies.
Looked at first that they were communicating very well with those first 2 hits, and then they just lost it. Couldn't get it back over.
Yeah, and it seemed after the incredible dig on the play from Mount St. Joe, they just, were not able to get into correct defensive position. And that one out of play. But the referee on the stool changed the call, saying it just nicked the line. And we'll get a substitution.
Looked out from up here, but what they see and what we see is definitely different.
Absolutely. It might have just skimmed that line if the ref was confident enough to change the call. But it was a tough one, and George caught the defense off guard with the soft touch, but an incredible dig, and that one does go out this time. Franklin now 17-14, a 3-point lead. As we near closer to the end of the 3rd set, Franklin is getting close to potentially having a 2-1 set lead. And what a block attempt from Franklin, and Mount St. Joe on what was a strong kill do get the point as that one went out of play.
Haven't seen Becerra mop the floor yet this set. Still waiting for that one.
Yeah, still, waiting for Becerra to whip out his 3rd skill. And what a tip over from Becerra, but Mount St. Joe replies well. That one nearly over the net, and what a play from Eric Pfeiffer, who tipped it just over the net, and it looked like Croft wasn't able to get to it in time. Franklin extending the lead back to a 3-point game. And a timeout here from Mount St. Joe as both teams are going to huddle up. Franklin staying hyped, trying to build momentum and excitement here at the Spurlock Center. A minute left to play, or a minute, sorry, in until we start and resume this third set. So 18-15, Franklin up 3 with a chance to take a 2-1 set lead. We'll be back with you after the break. And welcome everybody back. Franklin will lead off here with the serve deck. Gets it underway, and that one tips the end of the net. A nice kill there from Mount St. Joe. And Coach Taylor trying to talk to his libero Mung and tell him to get into a better position.
Coach Taylor's sitting back down.
Yeah, we haven't seen that much tonight, but he gets right back up after Franklin gets the service error to go their way. Now 19-16. 6 points away potentially from what would be their second set win of the night. In their 3 times playing Mount St. Joe, their best result has been losing 3-1. This night could be history for a young men's volleyball Franklin College program, and they call foul there on Mount St. Joe. Must have been out of play or a double touch.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the only history they've made this year. Back in February on the 22nd when they played Marthana Baptist, they had the first 3-0 sweep in the program history.
Yeah, an incredible showing that time. And they were just able to be on all phases of the game. And this time, another huge play for Franklin, 21-16. They have a 5-point lead, just 4 potentially more before they can take a 2-1 set lead over Mount St. Joe.
And we see Jonathan McCoy get very excited almost every single time they get a point.
Yep, the hype and camaraderie with the team is definitely showing, and the ball deflected right into the ceiling. There's sometimes when you're able to adjust to it, but not there.
Yeah, it was just too quick, it seemed like. Very, very, very fast.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of those tonight on both sides. Mount St. Joe had one of theirs earlier where the ceiling knocked him out of play, basically. And that one, too much, and a point for Franklin on the service error. Too much on the serve. We've seen a few of those.
We see George shaking his head in approval. Coach Taylor is up and excited. Oh, just kidding. He sat back down.
Sat back down. You can tell he's still feeling it, though. He's juiced up, and Mung tried to get under it and not quite able to. Was a little out of position. 22-18, Franklin up 4 as we near the end of this third set, looking to take a 2-1 lead in this match. And another service error, this time short on the serve.
Lots of those tonight, lots of into the nets. Lots of service errors into the nets and serves into the nets.
Yeah, it's been definitely a story for both teams, and Mount St. Joe especially. 20 errors now on the night to Franklin's 12. That's kind of been a little bit of the story. Franklin's gotten a lot off of those errors.
Yeah.
And this time, what a kill in the middle from Messberg. And now Franklin has a set point, 24-18. What a showcase it has been from them tonight at the Spurlock Center in their home opener of their second season.
They're really showing what it is to be a Grizzly for them, and the Lions are still having camaraderie and they're still being excited about the game.
Yeah, definitely trying to get back into it, but if Franklin's able to take a 2-1 lead, it's a long road back for Mount St. Joe to come out on top in this match. And, oh, Messberger tried to finish it, or Messberg. Croft got it over. Neither team's going to go down without a fight on this set point, but too much on it from Dimitrik George. And now 24-20.
Wouldn't be the first time George has done that tonight, but it also wouldn't be the first time for anyone to do that tonight. Seems that the service errors, or the errors in general, Mount St. Joseph's has more, like 60% more than Franklin does.
Yeah, Mount St. Joe has struggled in the errors part, and what a way to finish it! Corbin Deck, after what was an unbelievable deflection on the defensive end, somehow keeping it in play using all body parts. And Franklin was able to come out on top, 25-20 in their third set of the night, up 2-1. They're one set away from taking their home opener against Mount St. Joe and getting their fourth win of the season. And we've got 2:45 until this fourth set, and what could potentially be the final set of tonight's match will start. So 2.5 minutes, we'll be back with you then. And welcome everybody back from the break. Going into the fourth set of what's been, it's been a really, really close match throughout most of it, but Franklin really gaining a lot of momentum at the end of that third set, and we're able to kind of take over and get a nice convincing 25-20 win in the third set of the night, up 2-1 now with a chance to finish it in 4.
Yeah, it seems like the third set is where they kind of thrive. In the last matchup that they had, That was also the one that they won 25-0, or 25-20, my bad.
I was about to say 25-0. No, 25-20, the same score as this last one. So definitely seems to be something that Franklin has figured out in certain parts of the match. That time they were able to get a point to start out this fourth set on top. Croft, too much. Tried to take it soft, but got too much air under it. Franklin up to a 2-0 early lead.
This is how the last set started as well. Franklin got the first point, I believe.
Yes, yeah, I believe they started off 2-0. Mount St. Joe did that in the second set, but Franklin started off hot in that third set and controlled most of it. And ooh, a close one on the block there. Mount St. Joe able to keep it alive. Becerra up. George trying to finish, and that one goes out of play, hits the scores table. Franklin a 3-0 lead to start out this fourth set.
George has 10 kills throughout this whole match, and him and McCoy have definitely been neck and neck kind of with the kills.
Yeah, definitely been the guys we've seen attacking from either side of the court. And what a block there this time from George defensively, and he gets it done. Now a 4-0 early start for Franklin in this set. And what could be the last set of the night, they are playing incredible.
Yeah, we see the Franklin bench getting very hyped. One of them were just dragging another one of their teammates on the ground.
I didn't even see that one. The bench mob is really up and going tonight, and that time Mount St. Joe able to get a point. I mean, it's got to be a mental battle if you're the Lions as well. You know, even if you do come out on top in this set, you're going to have to come back now from an early deficit, and you're also going to have to win a fifth set while being on the road at the Spurlock Center. The crowd is against you, and you can definitely say that that's been an impact in tonight's match.
I feel like the ceiling has also been an impact of all these matches.
Yeah, it's probably not like every other ceiling around, you know, the Midwest, and it's definitely made an impact tonight.
Oh, yeah.
As Mount St. Joe is able to get their second point in a row. Now 4-2, Grizzlies lead. A strong serve there from Croft. And Mung is able to get it, but a nice tip over from George. Mung got under that one. Musberg got there! A nice finish from Messberg, and 5-2 now for the Grizzlies off of the kill.
Seems like the Grizzlies are taking the lead and taking it strongly. They're not just letting the Lions have their way.
Yeah, not letting them gain any momentum. But Mount St. Joe trying to chip away. Now 5-3 off of the service error. Too far to the outside. And the ball is still in play off the third, and what a play by McCoy to keep it in off of George as well, and McCoy kept it in. The third one, it stays in again for the Grizzlies somehow, out of system. And what a dig from Mung, but it went over the net and out of play, and after what was a great rally from the Grizzlies, they weren't able to finish.
Yeah, they got it back twice, and which looked like they weren't going to be able to, and they did. But then that last time that they tried to get it back over, it went too far.
And Mung was able to get good enough positioning to get the dig, just not able to control where the ball went. This time, George killing in the middle of the court. Now 6-4 lead for Franklin.
Yes, George seems to be having many kills. Seems to be his strong suit. He just thrives in that area.
His 12th kill of the night alongside John McCoy, who's also had 12 kills on the night. And after the block, he was able to keep it in play. And what a finish! Eric Pfeiffer out of system. Finishes in the middle and nails it into the back end before the yellow line of the Mount St. Joe defense. 7-4 lead now for Franklin.
Not only are the players on the floor are very excited and happy, but the Grizzly bench seems to be riled up, to say the least.
Yeah, the bench mob has just been going all night, and especially from some of the women's volleyball players who are also on the bench. Not sure if they're, a part as assistant coaches or potential team managers. Either way, definitely helping out in terms of camaraderie. And that time, again, too far outside. Franklin now allows 2 straight points for Mount St. Joe. 7-6 lead for Franklin.
Yeah, Coach Dillon and Coach Cross are both or Assistant Coach Cross are both the men and women's coaches for volleyball.
Yep, and definitely having a connection between the two teams, especially in a young program that has recently started, mostly freshmen and sophomores after the service error to give the Grizzlies back the lead. But that's definitely important in building the camaraderie and growth of a young program, and trying to elevate it to the same level of the women's program and continue to grow both. Because when you have two sides working together for kind of a same goal, but you're in different seasons, it can help.
Yeah, and now we see Becerra with his mop, his third job, his third specialty.
Yeah. We've seen it multiple times tonight in almost every set, not the third set, but the fourth set. Now again. And a miscommunication defensively from Mount St. Joe, and Franklin doing a Sioux impression. 9-7 lead for the Grizzlies. Reed goes soft this time. George keeps it in play. What a return from Mung! My goodness, and a block from Deck. Another return from Mung. McCoy on the kill. Goes out of play. What a rally from the Grizzlies. They're as hype as they've been all night. 10-7 lead.
Not only on the bench, but also in the stands and on the floor. Seems like everybody's pretty excited. Yeah, we see a lot of energy here in the Spurlock Center tonight.
And you can definitely tell the home crowd, the home court, it all has its own impact. Whether or not people traveled from Mount St. Joe, either way, being in your home floor, being around the people and just being at home, I think just creates such a large motivational impact for teams. And the support they're feeling has to be strong, as this has been one of their better performances all season, as they're up now 10-7. As we're getting a stoppage of play here now. Not sure. It seems to be under a replay. And so we'll see what happens. And I just want to give a quick shout out to our sports information director, Ryan O'Leary, who's able to make all of this happen for us live on Grizz TV, and for everybody watching at home for all the access they get. And he's been running up and down to help watch the replay with the referees all night. So
he's getting his steps in tonight.
But helping out all night has been Mr. O'Leary. Is now 10-7 lead for Franklin as we'll get back underway.
I think they might have used Becerra as a mop. Can't lie. They put him off the floor.
At this point, you might as well, right?
Right.
And Mung got under that one. Good communication from the Franklin defense. He got under another one. So many digs from Mung in this set. Ooh. And what a finish, but they're saying it did not go in the line. It's saying it was Mount St. Joe's point.
Just a little outside that line on the left side of the court.
And Coach Taylor trying to work it out with the referee, and Coach Taylor sitting down. Not going to go after that one. Not going to try and make another call. And that one, just a messy play as the ball went right under the net onto the other side. And Mount St. Joe with 2 easy points. 10-9 now for Franklin.
Our last matchup in the fourth set, the Franklin was 22 and Mount St. Joseph was 25. We'll see how this fourth set goes while they're in their, while ahead.
Yeah, it's been a close one, but Franklin has held on to that lead, and a strong kill from the freshman, Demetric George, to extend the lead to 2. 11-9 now. The bench clapping, trying to get some momentum for the Grizzlies as they get the serve, and another service error. Franklin, since the first set, has been able to clean it up, has had no more than 3, but now in this set, they've already had 4 errors.
This seems to be quite the difference, seeming as how they didn't have very many in the past sets.
And that one way out. And Franklin bench just doing anything at this point, honestly. Like, the creativity's off the charts.
Yeah, he just got a little bit too much power. Jimmy Steinreedy had a little bit too much power behind that serve, but.
Yeah, back-to-back service errors from both sides, and what a block from Becerra, but I think they're saying it might have went under him, actually, and in between the net. Oh, no, but they actually did call it Franklin's point. At first, maybe just some confusion from my part, but 13-10. Grizzlies have a lead. Soft touch there, and George somehow able to get under it. What a dig.
He just lost his glasses. They fell off, and he was looking for them all over the floor.
And, Budag tried to get underneath that one. A lot of effort, as we saw from George and Budag there, but he will come back out for Mung. Come back into play his libero spot. 13-11. We're nearing about the halfway mark of this set, you could say. And Messberg's had a lot of success on kills today in the middle of the court. He tried one there. The fake to him, that time to McCoy, deflected off a Lion, and I think they actually said it might have been out of play or either over the net from McCoy.
Coach Dillon has sat back down. He stood up a lot of the first 2, and now it seems that he sat down a lot of the 3rd and 4th, but he does definitely stand right back up as soon as a point is taken or a point is given.
Yeah, he's definitely been on and off his feet tonight for what's been a real back and forth match, as Mung able to get under that one. It's tied at 13. They try to get to the outside, soft touch, doesn't get there. Mung sets it up for McCoy, and what a deflection on the block. Mung didn't get to it, and now Mount St. Joe with a 4-0 run, up 14-13.
The set started with Franklin in the lead, and it led to Mount St. Joe being in the lead right now.
Yeah, lost a little bit of their momentum, and another strong block. This time from what looked to be Will Croft, and a timeout from Coach Dylan Taylor. They're going to need to talk to their team. 15-13, Mount St. Joe on a 5-0 run. Franklin gonna need to reply if they want to finish it in 4. 1 minute until we'll be back from the break. Welcome back. Mount St. Joe starting the serve. And what a block there, deflected off the face.
That's happened more than once this game.
Yeah.
Both.
Yeah, though this time Sean Murray was the victim
Yeah.
of going off the face of a player, unfortunately. But Becerra now ready to serve for Franklin. And what a block there, but they kept it in place somehow. And Deck got it over, and the unorthodox hit. And they're saying I think one of the Franklin players stepped over the center line. Now 16-14.
Seems like assistant coach Kraus has seems a little bit frustrated this set, but Grizzlies aren't too far behind.
Yeah, after the 6-0 run and another point there from Mount St. Joe. I mean, they are just on fire right now. I believe it's actually a 7-1 run for Mount St. Joe. They have just been on it and have been gaining so much momentum on this Grizzlies team that maybe got a little too comfortable, and that one stayed in play and they didn't go for it. Franklin just deflated after what was an incredible first half to the set.
It seems like they're losing their momentum a little bit, but nothing that can't be brought back up, and it'll still probably be a close one, seeming as how they just got another service error on the Mount St. Joseph side.
Yeah, that's a big one there. Now getting the side out, a chance to gain some momentum back for yourself. It's the great thing about volleyball. It's kind of similar to basketball in that way. It's a game of runs. And kind of when you gain that momentum, when it gets on your side or you get your serve, you're able to gain momentum, but Franklin on another service error lost it there. A little messier this set. There's only 6 kills to 7 errors, not a good balance of what you're really looking for.
Seems like both teams are communicating fairly well right now.
Yeah, they're trying. I mean, it's late in the match. You cannot have any major errors. And what a deflection! And it does go to Franklin. Was just in play, and Franklin able to score off it and get the side out. Now 19-16, Franklin looking to make a push.
Mung came out just now, and yeah,
He'll probably take a couple plays out and will be back in as he has been. And that one goes out. That point stays with Franklin. Another important one going out. 19-17, Franklin ready to serve again. Got under that one, and a hard kill right in the center of the floor from Jimmy Steinreedy. And now Mung comes back in.
sounds like the bench is trying to maybe mess up the serves of Mount St. Joseph.
Yeah, and Pfeiffer there seemed to maybe got caught up in the air. Kind of an awkward position for him. As now Mount St. Joe just 4 points away from forcing a 5th set. An unbelievable, another decision that Franklin said was too close to go for, and they didn't, and it did not pay off.
No. They're not too far behind, but it seems like this set is Mount St. Joseph leading, and they didn't start that way, but it's definitely seeming like it's ending that way.
And now they go on the outside, try to get to Reed, but Franklin able to apply a miscommunication on defense, but they got it over. What a recovery, and that time out of position, or out of system, you could say, and Mount St. Joe with a 6-point, 23-17 lead, and Franklin just out of sorts, not what you wanted to see.
No, possibly just not enough time to get back up, they think, and just a little miscommunication on who should get the ball.
Yeah, and like you said, it could be a little out of reach, but after a service error, now 18-23, Franklin trying to get back into it, but another miscommunication from McCoy and George there, who both kind of went for it, and the ball went too far out back, and now 24-18. Mount St. Joe has just dominated in the last half of this set. It was a 13-10 lead for Franklin, and it has been a 14-5 run since. Now set point for Mount St. Joe. Deck went down after that set, but that one goes out of play.
Mung is also down. Mung is also down on the other side of the court. Doesn't look like he's standing back up at this very second. Maybe an athletic trainer is coming over.
Yeah, it seems that he might have some sort of cramp here. One of the players stretching it out, but either way, Mung is down, so 25-18. I think it's just a cramp based off the expression I'm seeing from some of the other people, but maybe not, so.
Yeah,
right.
Hopefully that's all it is.
Either way, we're going to be going into the fifth set here after Mount St. Joe was able to dominate at the end of that one and tie it up to a piece. So
we see Coach Dylan Taylor mopping the floors that normally Becerra does.
Yeah, doing another job, but we'd seen some slippage on that side from some Grizzlies towards the end there, so we're gonna have still 3 minutes before the next set, but Mung is still down, so we will be back with you after the break for the fifth and final set, and we'll give you an update on Mung and then. And welcome everybody back to what will be the fifth and definite final set. We've got a full match for you tonight live on Grizz TV. Not sure if honestly, a lot of people were expecting it to be a full set. We haven't seen many of those from Franklin this year, but we've got one tonight at the Spurlock Center in their home opener.
Yeah, it's 2-2 right now, so whoever gets this last set will take the win for this one.
Yeah, take the match, and what would be it would be Franklin's first ever win against MSJ in the men's volleyball program, in the young men's volleyball program, as they were able to get the point there to start off this final set. And Mung is back out there at libero. I believe it was probably just a cramp, and he just somehow got under that one. It was perfect execution from Mung there, but it was just out of play. And so now it'll go to MSJ. And that one, too much on it, also goes out of play.
Last set, it seemed like Franklin had a couple where they thought that it was going to be out, and it was actually in by just a little bit, but that time it was most definitely out.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of those close ones tonight, and too much on that kill, a strong kill from Luke Dwyer. We haven't seen much of in terms of kills tonight, but he executes there and ties it up at 2 apiece. Franklin got under that one. George tries to kill, but a strong deflection on the other side from MSJ. That was Jimmy Steinreedy. Now a 3-2 lead for the Lions. And that one goes up to the ceiling. Becerra gets it. Soft touch from McCoy, but it stays with MSJ, and a strong finish again. And that one from Steinreedy again. 4-2 now for MSJ.
We've seen a lot of the ceiling play tonight. I think the ceiling wants to be in on the game.
It has been an impact all night at the Spurlock Center, and teams have had to adjust, but a strong finish there from, I believe it was Messberg, and Franklin brings it back down 4-3 now.
Probably another close match close set as we watch this one. Seems like we had a service error, just barely tipped the net.
Yeah, just a little close, and MSJ was able to get the points, and now 5-3. And yeah, like you said, pretty much all the sets have been very, very close. The last one, honestly, being the biggest deficit of 25-18. Franklin winning 25-20 in their third set. It's been getting a little bit wider of a margin all night, but that one out of play, and now that close, 5-4. MSJ still with the lead, but yeah, no, it's been a close back and forth match all night with the 2 sets either way, and almost all of them being relatively close. And that one, too much on it. Franklin's gonna tie it up at 5.
We're back to neck and neck. We've seen a whole lot of that tonight. A lot of neck and neck, a lot of back and forth.
Yes, lead changes have been a constant. And what a kill on the outside, Carson Reed.
Absolutely smacked that one into the ground. Looked like George wanted to get it, but it just wasn't going for him.
Yeah, it was too fast of an attack, and a great job by Reed getting up in the air and angling the ball well. McCoy got under that one on the return. Up on the kill. What a dive from Mung. A strong dig and out of play. A point will go to MSJ. Now 7-5 lead for the Lions. A close call there just on the outside.
And thankfully, Mung just had a cramp on the end of the last set. It would not have been great to see him go out.
Yeah, he's been a major impact all night. 16 digs for the libero. And that one, a strong spike from Deck, and now 7-6. Lead for MSJ still, but Franklin with a chance on the side out to tie it up.
Franklin has had a lot of service errors within the past 2 of their sets. It was very, very short, and then it climbed up to 21 errors, while Mount St. Joseph stays at 28.
Yeah, Mount St. Joe, it's been a messy night from them, but so far this set, they've been pretty clean, only 1 error so far. But that time, Franklin able to get the point. Coach Dylan Taylor was hyped up, and now it's tied 7 apiece, while Franklin has a chance to lead off the serve. They go for the setup to Croft, and oh, he just perfectly placed it in the corner, and now we're gonna get a switch of sides. I believe it's at the halfway point of the set.
Franklin on the floor is huddling up, talking about potential plays, what they assume, what they're probably going to do. And we have libero from Mount St. Joseph coming out, and number 19, Roger Wilcox, coming out. Oh, just kidding. He actually went right back in.
Yeah, still figuring out some of their substitutions here, it seems, for both sides. They want to make sure they have the right lineups, and so just a reminder, the 5th set does actually only go to a 15-point max, so it'll be win by 2 still, but that was the halfway point why both teams switched sides, and an unbelievably strong kill. They had no chance of returning it. Demetric George ties it up at 8 apiece, and both teams now just 7 points away potentially from what would both be their 4th win of the season on either side. MSJ 3-6 on the year, Franklin 3-10 on the year, but this is their home opener, and they would love to get a win in front of the student section, which has shown out tonight.
Franklin has 50 kills this entire match. This 5th set, they have 6, but MSJ only has 44 kills throughout the whole entire time.
And what another one there, getting the bench and coaches hyped up. Now Franklin back with the lead. They've gained some momentum. 9-8 now. Buttag is doing the serves, and he was short on another one. And now 9-9 on the service error. Not something you can have this late. And now Pfeiffer is going to come out really quickly.
Yeah, we just saw the student section join in with the Grizzly bench, and we're seeing that the MSJ bench isn't detered down at all.
Yeah, they are. Both teams definitely still motivated in what is going to be a down-to-the-wire finish. A nice dig from the libero Mung there, and McCoy tried to go over the top, and that one too much on it. Franklin scores. One of the MSJ players swore that maybe Franklin had skimmed it, but
so many hits like that tonight. We had a lot throughout the entire match that they just overkilled it.
yeah, and another one there, and especially late in the match, it is detrimental, and that one just too little on it.
Yeah.
Tried to, not overcompensate and overkill, but they do that time, and a chant from the team once again as they now are up 11-9. They are 4 potential points away from winning in a set of 5 match against MSJ. It'd be their first win in men's volleyball program history. 11-9, a minute left, and we will be back from break. here we go. Underway.
Last couple points of the set. It only goes up to 15, but they still have to win by 2 no matter what.
And that one going up to the ceiling. They're going to have to get over on the third hit. They do. What a play by MSJ. Fake it to in the middle to Piper or Musburger, but they go to George this time on the outside. Coach Taylor is hyped up. The benches, the team is 3 points away.
Seems like everybody in the Spurlock Center that is into the Franklin community is definitely excited for them. It would be a big win for them, not only just because it's a win, but because it's against Mount St. Joseph, who they've lost to a couple of times, and they lost to in their last matchup, but they're only 3 points away, so.
Yeah, right there, and we got another quick stoppage of play, so we'll stay with you. We only have 50 seconds until they will resume the set. And last year, or sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. Jonathan McCoy has 16 kills, and Demetric George is right behind him with 15. We have a lot of stuff going on here tonight. We have 19 digs from Mung, and just overall, we have a lot of good and great things coming out of that. On the MSJ side, we have Reed with 13 kills, and he also has 12 digs, along with Murray.
Yeah, and I was interested after Johnson had 30 assists, no longer on the team last time out against MSJ. Who was going to replace that production for Franklin? Becerra, 30 assists on the night. And that one just went weird off the hands of Will Croft. I mean, that is just a shocking thing that you'll never see. Franklin's just 2 points away, and this would actually, ladies and gentlemen, be their first ever home win in men's volleyball history. Last year they did not win a home game in their 2 wins in 2-10 season, and that one gets thrown. MSJ is all over the place. Franklin is up 14-9. It is match point.
Seems like if they win this match, they'll be making a lot of history. They've made history previously this year, and if they make it tonight, it'll be just something to add to the books.
Yep, clear improvement in the second season of their program, and now a chance to be 4-10 and beat MSJ, and they do! They block them over the net. The Spurlock Center, everyone is on their feet. The history has been made. The first ever home win for the Franklin College men's volleyball program in their second season and home opener. What a win from the Grizzlies.
And first ever win against MSJ as well, so they can definitely be excited for the next time they match up with them, knowing that they actually will be competing, and it won't be just another game that they don't expect to win, because they have proven themselves tonight, and you can see that as they're celebrating, as they won 15-9. They won 3 sets of 5.
Yes, it was an incredible showing from MSJ, or from Franklin, sorry. And yeah, like you said, first win against MSJ last year, got shut out both times in all 3 sets. Didn't even get to a 4th set. This year, they played them earlier in the season, won the 3rd set, were able to extend it to 4, and then this time they get pushed to a 5th set after having a struggle. They lost the 4th set, lost a lot of momentum, and they were able to come back and now get the win in the 5th set. And what was a short one? 15-9, the final score of the final set, and the Grizzlies able to come out on top for their first ever home program win in men's volleyball history. And you can tell it's going to be a big moment for this young team, and also just for fans that were able to show up to the home opener.
All right. We see the team celebrating with each other. We saw them looking up into the crowd and waving to their families, possibly friends that are in the student section. It was just a whole lot of good stuff going on here in the Spurlock Center.
Yep, a good crowd to see, and crowd left home happy as they were able to get a win in what was a very close match with MSJ. And like you said, they will be looking forward to seeing them next season, as they both were able to get both of their matchups in this year. So that will be all for us tonight live on Grizz TV. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Once again, I am Luke Shepard alongside first-timer Layla Floyd up here, who did a great job with us tonight. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Have a great night.